8 years ago, the brutal murder of Emma Pawelski rocked Adelaide. The 30-year-old was last seen alive on November 26, 2005. Her body was then found over a week later in the Mount Crawford forest.
Despite persons of interest, police have yet to charge anyone with her death. Her mum, Sharon, talks to our reporter, Marianne Harris.
When I hear of other murders nearly every day on the television, people losing children, I just really feel for them because I know exactly what they're going through. And you just feel like your heart breaks again for them because it's such a hard thing to have to deal with emotionally.
It's a heartache, the loss of a loved one. In Sharon's case, a daughter named Emma, who'd only just celebrated her 30th birthday.
She's still very alive in my mind. Even though it's nearly 8 years, it only feels like yesterday. So she's still very real.
For the young woman who yearned to be an actress, her life took the worst possible turn. The last positive sighting of Emma Jade Pawelski was on Saturday the 26th of November 2005 as she walked along Regency Road in Prospect, Adelaide. She had just left the address she'd been temporarily staying at with her pet cat. It's not known where she was heading, only that she didn't make it. Her body was found by a bushwalker 8 days later in the Mount Crawford forest. I'll warn you, it's horrible and graphic. Emma met with a violent death. Not only was she beaten with a blunt object police believe was something like knuckle dusters, she was then dumped on a remote bush track and set alight. She was unrecognisable.
So we basically found out about it by seeing it on the news because they didn't know. They just found this body of a young woman. So major crime detectives came out to our house. They were there within an hour. They showed me photos of all the jewellery that was on the body and I recognised 15 pieces of the jewellery out of the 18 that she was wearing.
I just remember Mum bellowing out at the table. I could just hear that pain. I was in my room and I can hear that pain like it was yesterday, just when we found out that it was her.
They didn't let you see her body though, did they?
No, they advised against it. I went through a stage of feeling angry that I didn't see her, but after reading the coroner's report 10 months later, I know that they were just trying to protect me. So it's for the best I didn't. I need to remember her, how I knew her.
Hannah was 15 when she lost her sister, the crime leaving an indelible mark.
The fact that she was so helpless and just lying there in the forest, those images are what haunts me forever. And seeing it on the news every day, another murder, people can't get away with this.
It's a terrible thing to happen to anyone, and for someone to dispose of her body like that is just something that I'm sure a lot of people can't imagine happening.
Detective Schneemilch was first at the scene. Despite recovering some items, there wasn't enough physical evidence or DNA to track down the killer. Police believe Emma was murdered elsewhere before being left in the forest. Do you think she knew her killer?
Given where she was found and the manner in which her body was disposed of, that just tends to reinforce the fact the person's trying to hide their identity by trying to hide Emma's identity.
Emma's life toward the end was marred by some volatile relationships and a lifestyle she was trying hard to shake. But her family left behind still don't know why she was murdered.
I suppose we need to know why and how and just all those questions that you ask. I can't rest. It's like I've got no peace because it's just there all the time. And just to be able to resolve, it's not going to bring her back, but just to understand why it happened and to feel that maybe some justice will be done.
It's highly likely the killer had help in disposing of Emma's body. This red Ford Telstar has been examined before, but police are keen to talk to those connected with it in the weeks leading up to the crime.
We'd like to think that perhaps there are people out there that haven't provided information before. They might feel some sort of obligation to come forward now and give us some fresh information.
For Emma's family, there'll always be a sadness. They never said goodbye.
She's beautiful, and knowing what happened to her in the forest just is horrible, and it breaks my heart, and it's all I can image is her body bag going into the ambulance on the news. and I don't want to remember her like that. And we need answers so I can move on and just remember how she was and just the beautiful soul that she had.
I don't want to spend my whole life being angry over this because she wouldn't want that. But like I say, the sadness just doesn't go away.
The South Australian government recently announced a reward of $200,000 for information on Emma's death.
Yeah, if you can help police, please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.